A series of large explosions have rocked the city of Zarqa in Jordan. The explosions happened at a military facility which was in a remote and isolated area in the city. The government spokesperson has said that an electric short circuit led to the series of explosions at an army depot. The officials said that the explosions happened at the military facility where mortars are stored. Residents said that windows of homes were shattered in parts of the city and large flames could be seen from the explosion site. The government also said that no casualties were reported due to the explosion. The Jordan government said that the initial probe shows that the explosion was caused by an electric circuit.
Por favor, ya, por favor, ya, no más, los ahogos,
An 82 million rand school in Tembisa is standing empty while pupils are being taught in containers and Wendy houses. This is because the provincial government has not been able to get an occupancy certificate as it was built, the school that is, was built in a waterlogged area. One South Africa's Musi Maimane says government must account for the injustice.
For the best part of a decade, Hugh and Jenny Pote have grieved for a murdered son. Private Robert Pote was gunned down on base at the hands of a rogue Afghan soldier he was serving with. Also killed in the so-called green-on-blue attack, Lance Corporal Stefan Milosevic and sapper James Martin. Their killer, known as Hekmatullah, escaped to Pakistan, where he was eventually recaptured. Now, after 7 years behind bars, he and 5 other Taliban prisoners have been transferred unshackled from Kabul to Doha on a specially chartered flight.
The reason for that is fairly obvious, and that is that he will be released in a country other than Afghanistan.
The federal government says assurances have been given that won't be the case.
Chile earthquake 6.5 magnitude quake strikes near Tocopilla. Power outages reported in areas near epicenter, but no damage or injuries confirmed. An earthquake of magnitude 6.5 has struck near the coast of northern Chile, the GFZ German Research Center for Geosciences said. The quake was at a depth of 46 kilometers, it added. The epicenter of the earthquake was located north of the city of Tocopilla, the capital of the province that has the same name. Tocopilla and a nearby municipality, Alton Hospicio, experienced power outages due to the quake.
10 seats in Iran's parliament are up for grabs in the second round of voting. February's parliamentary election saw the lowest voter turnout in the history of the Islamic Republic and resulted in the most conservative parliament in its 40-year history. Hardliners now make up the majority, and that's not good for President Hassan Rouhani's reformist-aligned government. In June, Foreign Minister Javad Zarif was interrupted and heckled in parliament. And at least 12 government ministers still have to face questions from politicians next week. The same issues still dominate politics: the state of the economy, corruption, and US sanctions.
Microsoft raised alarms that Russian state hackers may be targeting the campaign of U.S. Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden. According to 3 sources, Microsoft alerted SKD Knickerbocker, a Washington-based campaign advisory and strategy firm working for the Biden campaign, that hackers with suspected Russian government ties tried to infiltrate its network. But the hackers failed, a source said, because the firm was well defended. The Kremlin called the hacking report, quote, nonsense, and has long denied other reports of interference in U.S. elections. One source said it wasn't clear whether Biden's campaign was the target or whether the Russians wanted information about other SKDK clients.
South Korea will be contributing more to protecting intangible cultural heritage around the world. At the 8th session of the UNESCO General Assembly in Paris on Thursday, South Korea was elected as a member of the UN Cultural Agency's Intergovernmental Committee for the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage. This marks the 3rd time since 2008 that South Korea has been elected to the 24-member committee.
The fact that South Korea was elected 3 times shows that the international community acknowledges Korea's effort and contribution in protecting intangible cultural heritage.
According to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, it was a tight race with India also fighting for a seat in the Asia-Pacific group. Of 146 countries present, 80 backed South Korea.
Story that we are tracking on WION at this hour, where Taiwan has accused China of violating its airspace multiple times over the course of the last few days. Now, according to Taiwan's foreign ministry, almost about 24 warplanes of the People's Liberation Army entered into the country's air defense identification zone. Taiwan has criticized these violations as a clear threat to regional peace. It has also called on the international community to condemn the Chinese aggression. Taiwan has vowed to stand tall and has said that it will not be intimidated by Beijing. China is conducting war games near an area of the South China Sea that is controlled by Taiwan. Taipei, for its part, believes that China is trying to create a new status quo in which the PLA ships and warplanes will have free passage through the region. China has refused to rule out military options.
The sparring between the United States and China has taken a new twist, with student visas now in the firing line. Beijing has accused Washington of racial discrimination after the visas of Chinese students and researchers were revoked.
China has lashed out at the U.S. for revoking the visas of more than 1,000 of its citizens. It has blasted the move as political persecution and threatened to retaliate. Nearly 370,000 students from mainland China study in the United States. They bring in significant revenue to American colleges. U.S. officials say those who had their visas canceled were deemed to be security risks. They say legitimate students and scholars will continue to be welcomed.